And now we're joined by Dr. Dor Edelist, a marine ecologist from the University of Haifa, the Rupin Academic Center. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Edelist here. First of all, to start out, what are the factors? I mean, these images are stark. Seeing so many medusas, the jellyfish there in Haifa Bay, it feels like greater numbers than we've seen in past years. What factors are thought to be contributing to their seasonal appearance on the shores of Israel?
Well, seasonal it is, and it is jellyfish season. July is the month where we have the most jellyfish traditionally. We see large interannual differences, and we have an initiative to map them, and you can access the app. It's called Meduzot Ba'am, or Meduzot COIL, and you can see the map of the beaches, and indeed you can see that offshore, about a mile offshore, you can see very large concentrations of jellyfish along the beaches, mostly in Haifa Bay, where oceanographic currents tend to concentrate them, but also in other beaches. So whether this is or not, this is exacerbated by climate change. For sure, in the Mediterranean, we see tropicalization. The sea is becoming more and more like the Indo-Pacific realm. And that's for several reasons. First of all, the Suez Canal. We now have open passage into the Mediterranean, after tearing Africa apart and now creating this passage. So now we do see more organisms that are more tolerant to high heat levels. We do have ways of dealing with this crisis. Of course, we can tell people, like in our initiative, which beaches are full of jellyfish. And we have, in the EU-sponsored ILIAD project, we have contacted organizations like our own around the Mediterranean that are doing the same thing, and we're trying to get an even larger zoom out than you're seeing right now on the entire sea.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a relatively new phenomena on the eastern Mediterranean coast here of Israel.
Yeah, by new, we're talking about 45 years or so. In the early 80s, that was the time when we first started getting these large swarms of this species that you see right now. It's called Ropilema nomadica, the nomad jellyfish. It's the commonest species, the one in the drone footage as well. And it's spreading out in the entire Mediterranean as well. Now in Tunisia, they get every fall, every autumn, they get swarms of this species. So it's not only our problem, but it is very pronounced in Israel.
Well, certainly is. All the environmental issues here are not only our problem, for sure, but stark imagery here leading us to discuss this for yet another day here. Dr. Dor Edelist from Haifa University of Haifa. Thanks for being with us on the subject.
Thank you for having me.